Hey, recovery in real time. It's been a minute since I've jumped on live and posted or anything like that. And yeah, I just wanted to come on here this morning and talk about recovering in real time. And today, what I wanted to talk about is going through emotional abuse from a sadistic, narcissistic, person with a personality disorder dealing with somebody that is a unworthy partner that might have narcissistic traits, that might be narcissists, they might be sociopathic, they might be psychopathic, whatever. This person might be an avoidant, they might have a weird attachment style, whatever. This person is a person that has a personality disorder, and you are the normal one, and you are dealing with them and you are in a relationship with this person. I want to talk about that right now. And what part of that do I want to talk about? I want to talk about the actual relationship, the actual breakup. Um, and the reason I want to talk about that is because the problem that there is with these type of relationships is people on the outside. So people on the outside looking in, these people think that you are in a regular relationship. They think that you are just going through a regular breakup. They don't know any better. You have to be careful who you talk to about this relationship because, hold on one second, I gotta pump my gas. Because if they have not been in a relationship like that, they don't know. They never heard of it. They're not educated. They don't know anything about it. That being said, it's foreign to them. And I'm saying all this because this can trigger worse things for you. And the way it can trigger worse things for you is because if they don't understand what you're going through, they're going to discount what you're going through. They're going to belittle what you're going through. They're going to not understand what you're going through. They're going to chalk it up as just a regular relationship that it's just a hard breakup you're dealing with. And without them trying, it'll be kind of like a gaslit thing. It'll be like them unintentionally gaslighting you, which is never a good thing. So I advise you if you're dealing with a relationship, I mean, a breakup of any sort that is from a person with a personality disorder or a person that has made you suffer emotional abuse, you cannot just go to your regular friends and talk about it. You can't just go to your friends and say, hey, man, first of all, you're going to be in way worse shape than somebody that suffers a regular breakup. And your friends will start to judge and discount you. They'll be like, man, why are you tripping about this breakup? Jesus Christ, it's just a breakup. You'll start hearing that, and then you're gaslit. Your friends are unintentionally gaslit lighting you because they're suggesting that you're overreacting from this breakup when really going through emotional abuse is something so serious. It's something so different that psychologists have explained it in a way that I've never heard anything else explained. Like honestly, your brain produces a chemical when you go through emotional abuse. Did you know that your brain produces a chemical because at one point you get dopamine hits from the relationship. The person, and this is all by design, which makes it diabolical. You get dopamine hits from the relationship. And then all of a sudden, the person devalues you and hits you with a criticism that's unwarranted. And then your brain, that's just going through a high, all of a sudden is going through a huge low. So, what your brain does, your brain looks at that as psychological trauma. So, your brain tells you, hey, or your brain does this, your brain says, you know what? We're going to file this in a forgetful file cabinet. We're going to forget that this happened because we don't want you to relive this experience. It is a psychological traumatic injury that we don't want you to relive, and it's more exaggerated after a dopamine hit. After you get a rush of goodness, you get a rush of badness. That is the worst. Your brain associates that the same way it associates drugs. When you go through drugs and you're looking for that next hit, it's the same thing. You'll find yourself wanting the abuser, the person that abused you, the person that has put you through all the distress, all the chaos, you will be wanting them like you want a drug. And on top of that, you cannot remember anything bad that they did to you because your brain has covered it up to protect you from psychological trauma. Your brain has protected you and said, "We do not want you to relive this over and over again. We are going to make you forget about this so you will not have to go through this experience again." But at the same time, hey, this person is the greatest thing since sliced bread. You need this person like you need air. That's the difference in emotional abuse in a regular relationship. Normal people don't do that to people. And these people with personality disorders, and they could be a narcissist, they could be a psychopath, they could be a sociopath, they could be an avoider, they can have a personality, some kind of attachment style, but they will all do this. And you can tell they know what they're doing simply by looking at their past. They leave a wake, in their wake, they leave chaos and destruction. They leave people destroyed, and you can go back and talk to ex girlfriends and ex boyfriends, and they will tell you the same thing. And these people know what they're doing because they see how they do people. They just don't have the empathy. So the empathy allows them not to care. And usually, uh, people that have a personality disorder, I'm starting to find that they suffered something in their childhood, something traumatic. It doesn't have to be a single event. It can be a repetition thing. It could be something that their parents did to them and abused them over and over again. And it might not even be physical abuse, or it doesn't have to be sexual. It could be in the manner of like transactional love. If a parent gives a kid transactional love, which you only love that kid when that kid does something that's in your favor, and that's the only time they get love, but they don't get love the other time, that right there is enough for emotional abuse. And when a parent does that to a child, that child is stunted from that age. They are emotionally stunted right there. So that child, 12 years old, he suffers that emotional abuse. That child becomes a 12 years old emotionally. That child never grows emotionally from that point. That child is 12 years old emotionally. That child can be 40, grow into a 40-year-old man, but in the emotional department, they are 12 years old. And that's why you'll find people with personality disorders act so immature emotionally. They are the most emotional, immature people on the planet because their growth was stunted when they had their traumatic injury that caused them to be the way they are. They put all kind of defenses up. They put shells and walls up to protect them from that type of injury from their parent or whoever they were dealing with, and they are stunted at that age. And since they've also put those things in place to protect themselves, in doing that, they lost the ability to develop empathy. And that's why these people, after they break up with you and after they discard you and they leave you in a bad way, they don't care. It feels like they don't care. They just move on to the next person like it's nothing and leave you damaged and leave you traumatized. But they don't care. They don't care. Well, there's no empathy there. That's why they don't care. So understanding these people is half the battle. Understanding what's happening, educating yourself is half the battle. If you get the education and you understand how these people work and what their brains are like and everything like that, you can help other people or you can use it for yourself as a tool to recognize red flags in the future, to not deal with these people, and to perhaps, help out some of your friends that may be dealing with them. You will know how to talk to a friend and you will be emotionally intelligent for that friend. And you can be used as a tool to help people against this. You know what I mean? Because you have gone through it. You are a soldier that went through that battle and you actually come out of it alive. You are a survivor. That's why people from emotional abusive relationships are called survivors. They're victims and then they survive and they're survivors. You're an emotional abuse survivor. You're a narcissistic relationship survivor. You are a survivor because believe it or not, it is survival because these people psychologically traumatize you in a way where you're second guessing yourself on all levels and natures, and sometimes it could lead to something like unaliving yourself. You have to be very careful with that because these people don't care. And if you do something that drastic because of a relationship like that, they're just going to come up with an excuse to make it not be on them. You know what I mean? For their own satisfaction. They're not. That's not like they're going to feel guilt anyway because there's no empathy there. But you know, I'm just saying you have to protect yourself. You have to be educated, arm yourself with education, and know. So yeah, getting back to my original point, which is you might want to talk to somebody about what you are going through. And these people, and there might be a close friend, but if your friend is not aware that this world even exists, they are going to be the worst person for you to talk to. Because that friend's just going to be like, hey man, everybody goes through this. It's just a breakup. Chill out, dude. You're overreacting. It's not that bad. I understand you're hurt, but man, come on now. This is a little much. Your friend doesn't know that you've been through an emotional roller coaster by design. Your friend doesn't know that your brain has released some chemicals to help you forget about the trauma so you won't relive it over and over again. And that in turn makes you cannot re- you can't remember the bad things. You can only remember the good things, which makes you put your abuser up on a pedestal. So there's a lot that goes into it, but I'm just going to say this: um, do not confide in people that don't have the emotional intelligence to deal with this stuff. That don't have the emotional intelligence. That have not been through the war zone like you have. Try to talk to people that have been through it. Try to talk to other survivors. Get you a support group, or you might have a supportive group of friends. And if you have a group of friends that are emotionally intelligent,